to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yantz, and this is episode 52. And I am going to be talking about wrestling. This is the wrestling show. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the going-ons between what's going on with Jay White in New Japan. Also, I'd like to talk about what I would like to see happen in pro wrestling this year. Also, I'm going to talk about AEW, the January 6th show. I'm going to talk about WWE Raw. Unfortunately, the 4th and December 28th show I haven't talked about. And I'm going to talk about SmackDown, the first, last week's, as well as this week's on the 8th. So stay tuned. It's interesting what's going on with Jay White. I felt last, Tuesday, evening at 2 a.m., he gave one of the greatest matches I think he's ever had with Kota Ibushi for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and they're going to unify that with the IC. But I thought he pulled out all the stops. He was amazing. And then afterwards, after losing, he cut a promo that a lot of us saw, and it was just so filled with emotion. Some compared it to Punk's pipe bomb. There's a lot of unfortunate situations here because people don't realize that how good it was. It's not been getting the love that it should get. And to me, it's an amazing promo. Fortunately, it happens at a press conference, and not enough people are going to see it. And he, threatens to quit New Japan. Now, this could be an angle. This could be part of it. I mean, he did do the job on New Year's Dash. So that kind of makes me wonder, is he on the way out? Now, the rumors are that WWE is very interested in him. Personally, I think that's a mistake. I don't know what they would be able to do with Jay White. They wouldn't know what to do with him. He would be fine in NXT, and then once he comes up to the main roster, Vince will have no idea what to do with him. He'll think he's small. Or the highest peak he'll reach is AJ Styles. They won't put him at the Roman Reigns level, which is what I feel like he is in New Japan. So I actually hope he stays with New Japan. AEW would be fine, but I think they've got enough people right now. I think the best place for him is New Japan. I would like to see him win the G1 and then win it at the Dome. Or, if you want to expedite that a little bit, take it from Kota Ibushi at Dominion. Those two things would be, I think, quite satisfactory for the character. Because Jay White he's shown his ring work is amazing now. His heel work is amazing. His mic work is amazing. It needs to be amplified. He needs to get the big stage. This is going to kind of tie into what I would like to see happen. So I'm going to save that a little bit more to the my prediction on what I would like to see happen in this year in professional wrestling in whole. So let's talk a little bit about. So Kota Ibushi is the champion. He got his moment. It's a great moment. Some have compared it to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, that passing of the torch moment. I've loved Kota Ibushi. I've always loved him. I thought he was the big thing that really made me stand out to him was when he had his match at Wrestle Kingdom against Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the last matches of Nakamura before he, left, or well, it felt like one of the last matches, but one of the last good matches. He's always take the Bomeye as one of his moves as a tribute. But Kota Ibushi's great. I mean, he does that great thing that he started last year at the Tokyo Dome, where he would no sell him, and he's kind of like finding the devil in him. He now says that he has become God, and in some ways you could say he has. I mean, there's nobody better than him. Now, at the end of Wrestle Kingdom 15, Sonata came out, and it looks like Sonata and Kota Ibushi will be the first match. The first, his first big match. And I think they're going to elevate Sonata. I think Evo will have a good year this year. And if Jay White stays, I think Jay White is destined to become the champion at some point this year. Because he needs to have that long run. He can be the heel that they need. So, I'll talk about that when I get to my predictions for what I would like to see happen in wrestling in general. But yeah, I thought this was one of the best Wrestle Kingdoms. Hiromu Takahashi is now the junior IWGP champion once again. They really set the table for a lot of good things. I hope Tanahashi has a better year. I really don't want to just see him being used as an enhancement talent. I realize they can't build the company around him, but it's a lot of things there. You got Will Ospreay, who's just on another level as well. Dave Meltzer gave it 5 1/4 stars. Jay White and Kota Ibushi got the same amount of stars as Okada versus Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay is going to have a great year. I don't know if he's going to be the champion. I think that might happen next year. I really think it's Jay White's time to be the guy and take it and really run with the ball. But we shall see. Okada, he's always great. He's always going to be around there. I don't know what more you can do with Okada. I think they need to keep finding more new blood. And Okada, he wants to have a super show. So that opens the possibility of him, maybe New Japan, hopefully. Hopefully, New Japan and AEW working together. So that's a little bit about my thoughts on New Japan. Now let's talk about, it's a new year, so I'm going to give my predictions or what I'd like to see happen in wrestling. Let's start with WWE, because I just talked about New Japan. I would like to see Daniel Bryan win the Royal Rumble and face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I think that would be an interesting match, and it's something I want to see. I think they would have a really cool match. You have the guy who's been given everything against the guy who had to claw to get everything. So you got the guy, the entitled champion, versus the guy that everybody loves who had to fight for everything. It's so good. It's Dusty versus Ric Flair. That's the kind of dynamic you can have with this Dusty and Ric Flair. Austin, McMahon. These kind of dynamics don't come around on trees. And I think they recognize that. So I'm pretty sure, and even in the betting odds so far, Daniel Bryan is the favorite. So I think Daniel Bryan is going to win the Royal Rumble, and we're going to see him fight Roman Reigns. Now, whether he beats Roman Reigns, I don't know. I don't know if that's the way they want to go. It could work. Could work another way. I'd like to see Drew McIntyre have a good feud with someone. I don't know who it is. I think he's going to be secondary at this year's WrestleMania, because it's really going to be Roman Reigns and I mean, they could do The Fiend and Drew McIntyre. That would be kind of cool if they want to go that route. There's a lot of things they could do. I'd like to see maybe that. Maybe they bring in Karrion Kross and he faces Drew McIntyre. That could be something that they might do. They really love him, so I could see that happening. I think Triple H is going to face AJ Styles at Mania. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. So there you go. AEW. I think Kenny Omega is going to become the belt collector. I think he will win the maybe. He might win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Who knows? I think he's going to win the Impact Championship. I think he could win the NWA Championship. I think he should win the ROH Championship. That would be 5 right there. He's got the AAA. Make him into Thanos. Have all these belts. And then let him win the IWGP Championship. Now, what I would like to see happen in AEW is I want an invasion. Now, they kind of started this with Impact, but I want to see the invasion come from New Japan. I would like to see the Bullet Club, led by Jay White, with the belt. I'd like to see Jay White win the title at Dominion and invade AEW Dynamite, and we get Kenny Omega versus Jay White. I think that would be a really interesting feud. The only problem with that is that kind of turns Omega face, and he's doing such great heel work right now, so I wouldn't want to change him face. So I don't know. You'd have to kind of like play around with that. I think that would be interesting. It seems like they're kind of reinventing the Bullet Club with AEW, and they're going to call it just the Elite, with the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks and Omega and Don Callis, and maybe they'll add some more people. I think they'll call themselves the Elite. That's what they are, the Elite. If they go the plan that I think they're going to go, Hangman Page is probably going to be the guy to end Kenny Omega's reign as AEW champion. I would like to see Okada versus Omega, 5, at an AEW, and then maybe bring it back to the Dome and give Okada the win back. I think that would be interesting to see. Okada versus Omega in the United States with that dynamic and this heel Omega, and then have Okada get the win back. I'd like to see that happen in over the years. And yeah, I think also I think Jay White should win the G1, and he either wins the title at Dominion, or you give it to him at the Tokyo Dome. You cannot deny that man much longer. I don't want to see him go to WWE. They won't know what to do with him. I don't think he needs to go to AEW. I think he needs to stay right in New Japan. I think Big E's going to have a nice year this year. I think this will be a nice building to him. I think he'll maybe win one of the belts at the next year's WrestleMania. I think that's the right way to go. Give him a year to really get good, or maybe SummerSlam. Crown Big E something. And at the next year's WrestleMania, I think they should do some kind of confrontation between Roman Reigns and The Rock, and have that happen. Maybe at Survivor Series. So those are kind of my predictions on what I would like to see. I think those would be cool things to see. I think they would shake things up. And people need to be talking. That we need to see something like that. Also, I predict AEW will surpass either Raw or SmackDown this year. I think it's going to happen. I think they have too strong of a show, and I think it's destined to happen. So those are my thoughts on where I think pro wrestling is going in 2021. And when we come back, I'll talk about AEW and WWE. Okay, so I've decided to change this up a little bit. So I've changed it to now, does it make sense? How was it worked? Did I like it? And favorite moments. So that I'm not just recapping the whole show because I just find it boring. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. So let's start with AEW. We have the Young Bucks and SCU versus the Acclaimed in TH2. I liked this. This was good. Um, this was good. I kind of am gonna. I was really gonna just pick my favorite moments on AEW, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The whole show was pretty good, so I'm just gonna run through almost all of it. Yeah, I liked it. I thought this was fun. I'm not going to talk about all the backstage segments because I really don't care about any of those. John Moxley returned and cut a promo. I really liked this promo. It was really passionate, and he's pissed because he's lost the title, so he wants to win his championship back. So he's going after Omega, and he made fun of Don Callis. He said that he was like a used car salesman. It was good. We got the mission statement. We had Jake Hager versus Wardlow. I liked this. I thought this showcased what Wardlow can be. And you see, I feel like Wardlow is going to be the Batista of the inner circle. He's going to break away and just become this dominant monster. And Wardlow won with the F10 for the pinfall, and it was a 10-minute match. And I'm impressed. Really good stuff. We had the Darby Allin weigh-in with Team Taz and Brian Cage, and they were kind of like making fun of him for not weighing much. And we saw the new TNT Championship, which looks like the old TNT Championship, except for it's got like a black belt strap as opposed to like the red. They kind of took away the red. I like it. I mean, I still liked the original design, but I think that was a good way to send tribute to Brody Lee. Also, Jim Ross opened the show. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Another great tribute to Brody Lee. And for the first time, we heard Darby Allin speak. Or, well, it felt like the first time he's like really spoken towards somebody. And he was great. I thought he cut a really good promo for his character. And then they were going to beat him up. And then Sting came down. I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of getting sick of this Sting just showing up and not doing anything. I mean, can he hit somebody with a bat, do something? Are they just going to be afraid of him every single time? Also, Chris Jericho was on commentary. At times, I thought he was a little too excited, but you know what? It works for what he's doing. Cody Rhodes versus Mike Sydal. Cody Rhodes wins. I thought this was a good match. It was a good match. And Snoop Dogg hit a frog, some kind of a frog splash off the top. It was okay. Yeah, he hit the because Luther and Serpentico attacked Cody, and so Snoop Dogg hit a frog splash on Serpentico and pinned him, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Hikaru Shida versus Abaddon. I like this match. They were it was a little rough at times, but this was it was good. It's good for what it needed to be. And then we get to the main event. This was my favorite thing on the show. Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix had a great match. A match that really spoke volumes to what they could do. And you don't see this kind of match in WWE or NXT, so it sets them apart. Afterwards, we had Don Callis cut a promo on them. Moxley came out and attacked Omega, and then Doc Gallows and Anderson came out and attacked him, the Good Brothers, and they fought him off. And it was good. It was very reminiscent of the NWO. I'm kind of scared that they're gonna kind of go with that idea. Also, Moxley had a barbed wire bat, which was real barbed wire. You could see them getting cut all over just from like touching the thing. They beat down Moxley, and that was good. Um, then some guys came in. They tried to help him, so they fought him off. It was very similar to the NWO. They even said hostile takeover from, and then the Bucks came and they were gonna. It looked like they were gonna help the baby faces and kind of, but then they super kicked them and they did the too sweet sign, and it was good. It's a good little angle. So now Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite, are a group again. So we got the original. We got a lot of the original Bullet Club together. So I thought this was a good show. I really was going to expect only to talk about a couple of segments, but I thought everything was great. This was a smash show. Watch the whole thing. Really good stuff. AEW just continues to improve. And yeah, when we come back, I'll talk about WWE. WWE. And we're talking Raw 28. And this is Sheamus versus Keith Lee, the number one contender, 12:49. Keith Lee defeats Sheamus. It was okay. Right now, I'm just going to really talk about the things that I actually liked on this show, because I'm going to be honest with you, Raw sucks. There's really nothing to it. It doesn't go anywhere. AJ Styles versus Elias, that was a pretty good match. And then it ended with Alexa Bliss threatening to burn herself. And then Randy Orton maybe burning her. Does it make sense? Does this show make sense? No, it doesn't. How was it worked? Some was good. I like the Sheamus versus Keith Lee match. AJ Styles can work with anybody. Did I like it? No. So that's Raw 28. SmackDown, this is the first of the year. It starts with Roman Reigns' interview with Kevin Owens, which leads to Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, they fight on the stage, and Roman Reigns throws Kevin Owens off the stage. Does it make sense? Kind of. Do I like it? Yeah, it's not bad. And how's it worked? It was okay. The only other good thing I liked on this show was Daniel Bryan and Otis versus Nakamura and Cesaro. I thought that was a good match. So those are the two things I would say. Most of all, it pretty much a lot of it made sense. I don't know. I just think Kevin Owens looks like an idiot as he just continues to get duped by everybody. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Do you not realize where this is going? So that's SmackDown. And let's talk about Raw this week. This was the Legends show. Let's just say they didn't make the Legends look good. They had Randy Orton berate Ric Flair, and he sat there and cried. And they tried to turn Ric Flair heel on Charlotte, which was stupid. Big Show got talked down by Randy Orton. This just was awful. Nothing, I don't know, I don't like it. That started with Hulk Hogan talking on a phone or something. I don't know. It was awful. But let's talk about the good things. I really liked the Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee match. They went 21 minutes and 12 seconds, and Drew McIntyre won when he slipped out of the Spirit Bomb, did the Claymore kick. Good job, well worked match. Yeah, I like that. Does it make sense? Yeah. Did I like it? Yeah. Was it well worked? Yes. So there you go. There's one good thing on Raw. They didn't really explain the Randy Orton or Alexa Bliss cliffhanger, which was lame. Why even do it to begin with? If you're not going to open the show with whether you burned someone alive, I don't know why you did it to begin with. Really foolish idea. Now let's get to the big thing that happened. Goldberg comes out and talks to Drew McIntyre and interrupts his promo and says, he says, you disrespect these legends and everything, and it makes absolutely no sense. And then he pushed Drew McIntyre down. Apparently what happened is Drew was supposed to cut some kind of promo, and Goldberg was supposed to respond to that promo. Well, they ran long, so Goldberg was sent out there to cut a promo that hadn't happened yet, which just makes it look foolish. And then it was supposed to be also Drew McIntyre coming out and headbutting Goldberg, but they were off the air, so that was not seen. Just horrible. So we're going to have Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. And apparently this decision was made on Sunday. Last minute stuff. It's not going to lead to anything. It's lame. I'm sure Drew McIntyre can get a good match out of Goldberg, but it's like nobody wants to see that. It's, I don't know. I don't like it. I really don't want to see Goldberg in a championship match again. I think he's done. Then let's get to SmackDown tonight. 8th, Roman cut a promo. It's a pretty good promo. Then we had the Street Profits. They lost the tag titles to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. So there you go. Who cares? And then the main event, the Gauntlet. I like the Gauntlet. It doesn't make sense. Was it well worked? Yeah. Did I like it? Kind of. So we had it was Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Rey won in 15 seconds. Nakamura beat Rey Mysterio. Then Corbin came out and Nakamura beat Corbin. Then Daniel Bryan came out and shockingly Nakamura beat Daniel Bryan. And then we had Roman Reigns come out and Adam Pearce came out and was going to wrestle Nakamura, and Roman Reigns beat the crap out of him. Then he beat the crap out of Adam Pearce, and they just threw Adam Pearce onto Nakamura. And it was so Adam Pearce will face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at Royal Rumble. Who cares? This is awful. I hate it. I'm sure it'll be kind of interesting to watch, but I was much more interested in seeing Nakamura get a run with Roman Reigns. But as usual, WWE has to do their cliffhanger and boring crap. So there it is. So those are the last 2 weeks of WWE, and some good, some bad, mostly bad, and I don't know where they're going. It just seems like we're headed to Nothingville. But hopefully Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble and we get Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Maybe we get a tease at the Rumble. And it's probably going to be Brock Lesnar versus Drew. I'm thinking that's probably what's going to happen. Or it's going to be Drew versus Sheamus, which I don't see that as a headlining match, but that might be it. So there you have it. That's SmackDown. And, I want to thank you for listening. I hope you like the new format. It's ridiculous for me to just run through things. There's a million other podcasts that are doing that, and they do it much better than me. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the things I liked, and I'll talk about some of the things I don't like. And I'm going to use that criteria I gave. Does it make sense? Did I like it? Was it well worked? There you go. So as always, you can reach me at my handle at Justin Yance, and I will see you next time on the DMF.